Well, good morning. For those of you I don't know, I'm Bob McMahon, and I have the opportunity now, or the challenge now, of being able to put a bow around all that you've heard from our distinguished speakers this morning. First, please join me in a round of applause for our three distinguished speakers. And while I'm at it, we had an opportunity this morning to hear from a national treasure, a guy who, in my humble opinion, should have been President of the United States, but wasn't, but has, is, and will continue to make a difference for our nation. Someone who continues to think about Middle Georgia as his home, who made a difference here, made a difference for our state, for our nation, and literally for this world. Please join me in one more rousing round of applause for our good friend, Sam Nunn. Okay, I've been listening to our speakers this morning. I tried to draw one nugget out of each, and I'll share at least my nugget, and then I'll get to where I want to be. And this is really about you, the folks in this audience, and how, in my mind, this applies to us here in Middle Georgia. From Senator Nunn, I heard that technologies generate unlimited potential. From General Breedlove, I heard that we have got to have a dramatic sense of urgency because of where we are. From Mr. King, I heard that we need to prioritize technology and talent development. And from General White, he essentially told us we needed to get off of our butts because there is a burning platform, and that we talk a lot, but we've got to start walking the walk. And his words were, have we really actually embraced what we call 4.0 technologies? And his answer was no, and we need to move further. And I loved having General White last in this, because for this audience, for us here, he really created that story that we need to listen to and we need to move out on. What I really heard today were two things. Is that when you talk about this topic of 4.0 technologies, we have both a capability gap and a capacity gap when it comes to both developing and fielding, whether it's AI, machine learning, digital twins, and so that we have this burning platform in both of these different categories. And so if I understood this correctly, if in fact I am correct that we have both a capability and a capacity gap, then for this audience, my friends here in Middle Georgia, the two questions that we have to answer for ourselves are, first of all, if we don't deal with it here in Middle Georgia, then where? And the second question is, if we don't start now, then when? As I look across Middle Georgia, and I've been honored to be part of this family now for over a decade, I believe we are at the confluence of multiple factors that, when taken together, make Middle Georgia an absolutely ideal location to mitigate both the capacity and capability gaps that are associated with 4.0 technologies. In my mind, what those are first of all, is the existence of multiple research centers here in Middle Georgia. We've heard the reference already to Georgia Tech Technical Institute, or Research Institute, I'm sorry. But we also have the Mercer Engineering Research Center here, and we have a phenomenal organization called the Middle Georgia regional commission, which give us a capability to do things that in other places they could not do. Secondly, we have a variety of universities here in Middle Georgia that are focused on fielding the demand for the next generation of 4.0 technology workforce. Whether it's Mercer, whether it's Middle Georgia State, Central Georgia Technical College, or Fort Valley State, and then literally around the corner, both Georgia Tech and UGA, we have the ability to generate the workforce to meet both the demands of today in 4.0 technology as well as the requirements for the future. Third, we have a diversity of business applications that when we create this capability, we can apply it. We've talked a lot about the Department of Defense today, and when you think about it, we have supply chain here. We have maintenance, repair, and overhaul here. And we have, as General White referred to, the weapon system management capability to take those technologies and apply it for the Department of Defense. But wait, there's more, as they say on TV. When you look around our community, the commercial manufacturing that we have and the different segments there, whether it's Bluebird Bus, the national manufacturing location right here in Middle Georgia for all of our school buses, or Jack Links, we talked about food before, and the capability that they're putting here, the application of these technologies in that environment, or Kumho Tire, again, basic manufacturing. The ability to create and then demonstrate in field right here within a 30-mile circle of where we sit today. All of that, as you look and think about it, and we haven't talked about our most important industry here in Middle Georgia, and that's agriculture. The application of these technologies in this environment are untouched. And yet we have the wisdom, the knowledge, the research that we could be making a difference today. Fourth, we've already got the infrastructure to be able to deal with this. The 402nd Software Group out here at the base does remarkable things. And as we've watched over the last 5 to 7 years, the expansion of that capability, not only physically in terms of technology, but also where we look. You can go into Macon, right outside the gate. You can look throughout Warner Robins. Because we've expanded as much as we have, that footprint is here to be able to draw upon, to be able to support our DoD requirements. In the coming weeks, we're going to see the we're going to make it really happen. How about that? Of a software directorate for the Air Force Sustainment Center right here at Robins Air Force Base. Think about that's where many of these ideas are generated and created, and the ability to draw and build with that right here. We have a spectrum warfare group on the base here that utilizes and needs the capabilities, not only what we've talked about, but what is to come. And as we talk about this, we happen to be sitting in the home of the National STEM Academy. And the capabilities that my good friend Melissa brings with her team to taking young men and women, teach them about science and technology and engineering and math, and to prepare them before they go to high school, before they go to one of these universities that I mentioned before, and get them excited about this capability in a way that doesn't happen in many places around our nation. And oh, by the way, there's a tremendous partnership between what we do here in the museum and John Kabinig's 21st Century Partnership to bring robotics, as I look in the back of the room at some young men and women who are going to demonstrate what that really means to you. what the art of the possible is for the next generation, the people who are going to solve the questions that you all have, and what we need in terms of technology for the future. Finally, what we have is the political opportunity to leverage leaders who understand where we need to go. And whether that's our local leaders who have demonstrated that capability, state leaders, or at the federal level, we have a unique opportunity today to be able to leverage their roles, their responsibilities, and their authorities to achieve the things that together we can make happen here. So the question is, how do we make this happen? And the answer is, I can't tell you right now because we're going to take a break, but if you ask that question here in about 10 minutes, I'd be happy to answer further. Ladies and gentlemen, you're on a 10-minute break. We'll see you back here shortly for Q&A.